Hey guys, Brennan Miller USA here, and today's episode of Wheel Gun Wednesday is going to be the Ruger LCR 357 Magnum versus the lipseys exclusive Ruger SP101, again chambered in 357 Magnum. The 3-inch variation of the Ruger SP101. Again, both these guns are beautiful 5-shot 357 Magnums from Ruger. Very comparable. The LCR is a newer variation of a revolver from Ruger because it utilizes a friction reducing cam. So it's got an upgraded trigger, you have your steel upper, and then you have this polymer housing frame to it. And then you have your Hogue full-size tamer grip, and it gives you that full combat grip. Beautiful on the Ruger LCR. Both these guns are running the Zeta 6 snap safe disc. So you can very safely dry fire either of these revolvers with these products. This is the J-frame style one that works in the SP101. And then again, the LCR has an LCR specific product. Again, there it is right there. Both these guns have a push button style cylinder release. Which one feels a bit smoother? Oh, they both feel very smooth. I will say this, when you're closing up the LCR, it can be a bit more difficult than the SP101 just because you have a bit smaller of a crane here to close it on. You have a more traditional style crane with the SP101. So that's something to mention if you were wondering. By the way, on the SP101, the stocks that I'm running on it are the Crimson Trace laser grips. Really nice, high quality laser. Red, you're dead. Where the red dot goes, you bang. Really smooth actions on both revolvers as far as cocking it back. However, I will say it is easier to cock back the LCR in comparison to the SP101. Both guns have very similar style knurled hammers, although it is a little bit wider of a profile on the LCR, so that's nice. Both guns running investment cast parts. There's no MIM on these. It's just a lot of cast parts. If I'm right, some titanium parts or maybe 17-4 pH stainless steel or some stuff like that with the LCR that they don't run on the SP101. Again, the SP101, your more traditional style revolver. All metal, no polymer or anything like that going on with the frame. You also have a longer ejector rod on the SP101, but easier to extract those spent shell casings out of this gun in comparison to the LCR because it's running that very short extractor rod seen on the snubby LCRs. So they didn't change that on this gun. Double action is so freaking smooth in this friction reducing cam on the LCR. Decent return spring still on the LCR, but it is a bit better of a return spring on this SP101. Single action, so crisp on that SP101. What about the LCR? Let's see. Very crisp as well. Wow, an even cleaner let off actually. Actually surprises me a little bit more. That's excellent, wow. Here's a sight picture on the LCR, a white outline front sight, ramp style, fully adjustable rear sight for both windage and elevation. Both guns chambered in 357 Magnum, so you can shoot the standard pressure 38 Special or 38 Special Plus P if that's what you'd like to run in it instead of 357 Magnum. To be honest, in both these guns, I would suggest that you run 357 Magnum. You could definitely do it in this LCR all day long. That's one of the best things about the LCR as far as it being a modern style revolver like this, how they've set this up, is these LCRs are pussycats, man. They soak up the recoil so well of a full house 357 Magnum even. That's why I even like to carry 357 Magnums and these shorty LCRs. Like I wouldn't do that with the slightly lighter M&P 340 unless it was short barrel formula spear ammunition. So just putting that out there. Again, both these guns deserve to be carried with full bore 357 unless you have a slightly more recoil sensitive shooter, then run the 38 Special Plus Ps like loaded on these Zeta 6 J packs 38 Special Plus Ps. These will work with these guns right here. As far as comparing these, again, 3-inch barrels on both. You can see the difference in the profile of the cylinders. Again, both 5-shot, 357 Magnums. Looks like your cylinder might be ever so slightly thicker on that SP101. Again, built like a tank! That's what everyone says about the SP101. It is a quality piece, no doubt. I've owned 2 of these things now, and this one is just as nice as the first one that I turned into the old sandpaper edition. Granddad, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Too funny. The Ruger LCR, you do have a better trigger, a lighter trigger. This would be the easier trigger for most people to manipulate. Over the SP101, it has that slightly heavier trigger, but a better return spring over the LCR. So if the return spring with how much force that trigger has pushing you forward to reset the trigger matters to you, the SP101 will be the choice. Lighter, smoother, consistent trigger pull, it's the LCR 357 Magnum over the SP101. The LCR is the easier gun for the masses to use over the SP101, in my opinion. Again, this is a non-gunsmith gun, though. Something that I will say about the SP101, a bit sharp out of box. In comparison to the LCR is a bit better at rounding off those edges. Know that you could have some sharp edges like around the trigger guard and around the strap and around the cylinder. So you have some sharp edges to deal with quite possibly, but both fantastic quality wheel guns with full bore 357 Magnum capability. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Wheel Gun Wednesday, comparing 5-shot 357 Magnums from Ruger. And as always, remember, your Second Amendment is worth protecting.